Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boys.
And welcome back to the Bull Point Podcast, the podcast where we give our opinions to things, but they really don't matter. It's
It's just
just
Moo.
Moo. There you go.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good. So what's up, guys? This is pre-recorded. It's so weird. I'm not gonna lie.
We're in the past and you're in the future.
Yeah, this is so weird.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's usually how videos go. But um, yeah, this is weird. I kind of miss doing the live, but
I know. I'm a part of me is a little sad
yeah,
that we're not live because I really love the interaction aspect of the podcast. And I don't know, it feels weird not having it up here and seeing chat go and
yeah,
responding to you guys.
it's a little weird, but it's okay. Uh, we'll be there again one day when things
Yeah.
get better. But
But we hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving? What did you do?
What did you do?
Well, I had a good Thanksgiving. I was at my aunt's house with my aunt. Can you stop scratching?
I'm
What are
sorry.
you doing?
Sorry.
I was at my aunt's house with my cousins, my mom, my sister, my brother, um my grandmother.
Okay. What's the
Um
name? Everybody that was in the house?
yeah. We were there. We ate a lot of food. A lot of food. What? We played some bingo. I won. I'm not gonna say what my grand prize was.
$15.
No,
How much?
23.
I gave you the $3.
Period.
So 20.
All right. It's fine.
I
I still
literally had
won.
$3 in my pocket that I won, so I just made it rain on her.
Yeah, I won. We played, what did I say what we played?
Bingo.
Oh, yo, just a
Yeah.
heads up. I'm not feeling well. I don't have COVID. I just woke up with really bad allergies. So I feel like my mind is all over the place and I can't I can't think. Like I feel so bad. But but yeah, and we had a good time. It was actually a really nice day on Thanksgiving too. Like it wasn't brick. Like last year's Thanksgiving was brick.
I don't remember last year Thanksgiving.
I remember it was really
I'm
cold.
trying to remember what I did last year.
Nothing. You stood home.
I did, right? But
Yeah.
I think I just stood home.
Yeah, just you. Your family went out.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
But I remember it being cold because I remember last Thanksgiving I wore I was wearing a coat, and this Thanksgiving I was wearing like something thin.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving,
So what did you do on Thanksgiving?
everything you did, literally.
But you have fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with your cousins, your aunt, your grandmother, the dog.
Yeah. It was our first Thanksgiving together.
Yeah, it went
It went
pretty
really well.
normal.
Yeah.
It was nothing. I wasn't nervous or anything. It was pretty cool. Her cousins like me. I like her cousins.
Yeah.
I'm a cool guy. I'm a great guy. What can I say?
Oh, I just have a really good family.
I mean, yeah, that could be it, but at
It's
the
a
same time,
combination
it
of
could
both.
be yeah, it's like hand in hand because you can have a great family, but then I could be a douche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they can be a douche, and I could just be like,
No, but they won't treat you nicely.
what if I was a good guy?
No,
I
if
mean,
you
if I was a
weren't.
douche,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I'm a good guy. They treat me the way they treat me. You just kind of proved my point.
No, no, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, and I wanted to say also that I'm very grateful for you guys. Even though we put it on our Instagram story, there's a lot of people that don't follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that we are very grateful for all of you that watch our episodes and all of you that share our stuff and like our videos and like our things on Instagram and follow us on Instagram and like our Facebook page and all the people who give us feedback and all the people who
Why
interact
are
with
you
our
getting
post
into details like this? Just say everyone who's actually supporting, we appreciate you guys. Well,
because
for
you
that,
could
everybody who
because you could
comment,
because you
everybody
could
who
yeah
comment
because then
this.
that listen, everybody that comments on our
Oh my
videos,
god.
everybody that has donated, donate to the podcast. Link in the bio. You don't have anything to say? How appreciative
You
you are?
literally said everything. So yeah, everything she said,
That's not the same. It don't
just
come from the
listen
heart.
to just imagine it in a male's voice.
So one thing that I this is not something that happened this week. This is like a old case that I came upon because the story like resurfaced recently
Why?
because basically the people who were involved in the case when it happened, they weren't ready to like be public about it and
Oh,
speak and like
like
show
say
their
their
face,
story.
yeah, and share their story. But now they just recently shared their stories from like an insider point of view, and before it was just like, you know, people hearing about the case and like the court stuff or whatever.
Okay. So what are you talking about?
So I'm talking about the Turpin family. So if you don't know about the Turpin family, the Turpin family, well, is a case that happened back in 2018, January 2018. So basically, there was this girl that lived in a house with her parents and her 12 other siblings. So it was 13 of them.
Okay.
And they lived in a really nice like suburban area in California because their dad was a really smart guy. Like he went to college, he had his degree in engineering, so he was an engineer. And his job would like you know, relocate him different places, whatever. So their last relocation was in that place in California, right? So one night, one of the daughters that lived in the house, she escaped the house
Okay.
and she ran away from home because
Wait, she escaped the house.
she escaped the house. Like she climbed
Wait,
out the
no,
window.
wait. So they kept all 13 of them captives?
Well, yeah,
I don't think you said that.
no, I'm getting to there.
Oh, okay.
So she escaped the house because she escaped the house and she called 911. On the 911 call, she explained to the dispatcher that like you could hear that she's visibly like she's audibly like her voice is shaky. She doesn't really know how to speak. Her speech is a little delayed, like she doesn't speak properly. And so this dispatcher is asking her questions and she's apologizing to the dispatcher because she's saying, you know, I'm sorry, this is my first time ever speaking on the phone and it's my first time ever speaking to a stranger. So she explains to her that she has been kept in her house with her siblings pretty much since they've been born, and that the reason why she left the house is because three of her other siblings were chained up to their beds, and that her parents are abusive. And so the dispatcher was asking her like, why are your siblings chained up to the bed? And she's saying because they stole food from mother, but they weren't trying to be bad, they were hungry.
Mm,
So it was her younger siblings. They were chained to their bed, and she left the house so that she could make that call so she could find help. And so the way that she got the phone was that her older siblings, the oldest siblings, they had cell phones because the parents would basically like leave them for weeks on their own. So they would give the oldest siblings that they think that they can trust, that they know that they wouldn't do anything like, you know, sneaky. They would give them that phone so that they can like keep tabs on them type thing. Be like, oh, is everything okay? Like, what do you guys need? Blah, 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 right? So she grabbed her sister's phone with her sister's help and she left call 911, did that. So basically when she was out, they called the deputy or the sheriff. I don't know how it is in California,
probably share.
but he
Depends on the county. Okay.
yeah, they were asking her if she saw any street signs. She didn't know what a street sign was. She didn't know how to read street signs. they were asking her for her address. All she had in her bag was like a old like envelope like of mail, and they were like, what's your address? She read them the zip code, like the entire zip code, because she didn't know what like an address
Yeah.
was. And so they managed to find where she was. She said, I see a stop sign on the corner. I see a stop sign. So they told her to wait there, and then the guy, the
Cop.
cop, he found her there. Right. So in his mind, because they interviewed him too, he was like, I thought that it was just a typical kid, because she was 17. He was like, I just thought that this was a typical kid who was running away from home, and protocol is that they just take them in the car and drop them back home and tell the parents, your kid ran away from home, whatever, right? So, but she told the cop, like this. I'm again saying, I'm sorry, this is my first time speaking to somebody. Sorry if I don't speak correctly. And she was like, I ran away from home because my parents are abusive, and my siblings are chained up. And he goes, oh, like, like asking her questions. He didn't really believe her. And so he was like, do you have any pictures? She goes, oh, yes, I have pictures. And she grabs her phone, that little phone that she had, and she had took pictures of her siblings chained up before she left. So she showed him the pictures, and two of them are in, they had like bunk beds. Two of them are in the bunk beds, chained to the bed, their hands and feet. And then one of them, she's chained to like a mattress that's on the floor. And then their pajamas are like gross, like filled with filth, and they had like, like pee and body fluids and stuff on them. And so the officer was like, okay, like this is serious. So he put her in the back of his car, and he, called for backup, whatever. And so, long story short, she was freaking out in the back of the car because she's thinking like, oh my God, like he's gonna take me back home and my parents are gonna kill me. And so he had asked her like, oh, like, what do you think your parents are gonna do when we show up? And she goes, if you show up and I'm there, they won't care that you're there. They will kill me.
What?
Yeah. So he was like, okay. So he didn't go in with her. He left her in the car. I mean, I think he stood in the car with her, and then he let like the other cops go in. So they go in, and they had their body cam. So I saw the body cam footage, and it's crazy. They go into their house, and they knock on the door. So in this specific case, when it has to do with like child abuse and stuff like that, you don't need a warrant to go inside the house. You can just go in.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
so the parents, I mean the police, they knock on the door, the parents open the door, and they're like, is everything okay? Like they look startled, and the mom is the one that's doing most of the talking. The dad is just standing there like in shock. And she's like, is everything okay? And they explain to her that a young lady was picked up in the middle of the night. This is like 2 hours she left the house. So she left the house like at 5 in the morning, and they got to the parents, back to the parents' house like at 7:30.
Okay.
So they explained to her that somebody was telling them that there was that they ran away from home, and that there was like abuse happening in the house, whatever, blah blah. And they were like, she was like, somebody from here? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, who? Like, did she tell you a name? And they're like, no, ma'am, we just have to go and check in the house. And the dad is like, the mom is like, okay, well, we're packing, right? So the reason why the daughter left that day, why she chose that day to sneak out the house, was because they were being relocated again to, I think it was like Colorado or something like that. And so they chose that day to do it because they knew that like in their health conditions and the way that they were, a lot of them were gonna die on their way over there or while being over there. Because previously in their last relocation before California, their parents had a house. It was like, but it was like in the middle of the woods. And like I said, they abandoned them. Like they left them there and they would leave weeks on end and they would just show up and bring like a little bit of groceries and leave it at the door, but it wouldn't be enough for all 13 of them. And the girl that escaped, she was explaining that during that moment in time, all they would like they would eat anything. She said that they would eat like ketchup, they would eat like peanut butter from the jar, that there was times where they had no food, that they would eat leaves and dirt and grass from outside. So in this case, she was like, like this was our last chance, because if we would have left, they would have done the same thing and we would have died.
No.
So the mom is explaining that they're packing whatever, that the house is a mess, but on top of that, they were hoarders. Everything okay?
The Mac wasn't plugged in.
On top of that, they were hoarders. So yeah, there were boxes that they were packing, but there was so much filth in the house, like dirty, disgusting, like garbage upon garbage upon garbage. Like the police could barely move in and out of the house, and it was a big house. It was a nice house. And so when they go into the house, the dad stays at the doorway, and he's like a big dude. He's staying there at the doorway, that the police literally have to like shimmy by him to go in, because he didn't want them to go in. And he goes, "Do you guys have a warrant?" And they're like, "No, sir, we don't need a warrant in this situation." And so they go in, and basically what the parents were doing at that time, that they were talking to the police before they answered the door, they had told their oldest children to unchain the kids that were chained to the bed. So while they were talking, they were giving themselves time. So when they went to the room, those kids weren't chained up, right? So they were asking them like, "Hey, like, we're here for you. Where are the chains that were you guys chained up?" Like asking them questions. And while there are certain officers searching the house, there's one officer that stood behind and was talking to the parents. And where the parents were standing, they were like blocking off a room, but you couldn't tell because of all the filth and garbage and boxes and stuff like that. So the officer, as he's talking to the parents, he notices that he sees like a doorway. So he goes, "Oh, is this a room behind you?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is another room." They go in, and there's kids still sleeping in the bed, and one of them is chained up to the bed. And in the other room, they had asked them, where are the chains from the kids that were chained up, but they had taken them off. The kids had told them where to find the chains, and they were like in the closet, and they found all these chains in the room and in the closet. And so they arrested the parents right there immediately. And as they took the parents out to the cop cars, they put them in separate cop cars. They were asking them, "Where are the keys to the chains?" And she was like, "Oh, my older daughter knows where they are. She could tell you." So they go and they ask her, and they're like, "Oh, they're in her bedroom and in the drawer." Bruh, their room was the worst, like filled with piles and piles and piles and piles of garbage. So to even get to the drawer, take it out, go through that whole thing, take out the chains, whatever. They finally unlock the kids, and the kids are malnourished. They're all super skinny. The oldest at the time was 29, and she looked way younger than what she actually was. The kids look so little compared to their age, because they were never outside. They never like ate really, and the fridge was packed with good food, but only the parents were allowed to eat that food.
That's crazy. What's the point of like?
And they made money. They made money. And the crazy thing is that when they looked into it more, the mom, she would leave the house. So the dad would leave the house to go work. The mom would leave the house to go shopping. What would she shop for? Kids' toys, children's toys, children's clothing, all this stuff, but just to buy. And she would never let her kids play with them. She would never let her kids use them or
Did they
anything
show
like that.
pictures of them?
Yeah, that's the oldest daughter, and then that's the daughter that escaped. So she's now 21 and she's now 33, something like that, 32, 33.
Oh, they're really pretty.
Yeah. So look, this was the night that she escaped. She like, and so when she was on the phone, she was like, when she was on the phone with the police, she was like, we live in filth. We live in God. She said that there are times that she wakes up, like when she's sleeping, she wakes up in the middle of the night and she feels like she can't breathe because of how dirty and contaminated the house
I need to
is.
see how the parents look.
Okay, so this is the house. How the house looked. They never bathed. She said.
Send me that. Send me that so we could show them.
She said, well, we could put it. We can't put it in. We can edit it in.
I mean, we can, but it'll be easier.
When she was on the phone with the dispatcher, she told them that they don't bathe. And the dispatcher asked her, when was the last time you bathed? And she said, like a year ago. It's crazy. Look, these are the parents when they got married. And they were Christian. They would use the Bible to discipline them and everything. Look, these are the pictures of the sister's chain that she had took.
I got you right now. Yeah, they're really pretty.
They are. So it's a really sad case, and I was watching it on that Diane Sawyer had interviewed them on 2020. The whole interview is on Hulu if you have it. If you can watch that, is really really good.
Yeah, so this is the oldest, and then that was
The one that escaped.
The one that escaped.
Yeah.
That was her the night of.
That's the house.
How dirty their house was.
That's all the children's toys that the mom would buy, and she would never let them touch or anything like that.
And these are the parents when they were younger.
When they got married, so the mom was 16 and the dad was like, I don't know, like in his 20s, 22 or something like that.
Pentecostal too.
And
this is dumb chained up.
That's the picture that she took before she left of her sisters chained up. And then the next picture is they would get cleaned up once a year, get dressed up, would go somewhere for a day, and would take these pictures and send them. The parents would send them to their family members like, oh, look, we're doing good. Like, this is our family. We're all happy. We're great. But then they would go back home and put on those same nasty clothes. Like, they would change out of that. They would...
Yo, but if you look at it, like, they really all look happy. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, because that's their one day that they get to be outside the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Justin Bieber was there?
No, so that's the funny thing. So Justin Bieber, the way he plays into it is that,
he really plays into it.
Yeah. No, and
I think that was an ad.
No, and so in that case, so that phone, that little phone that she would use, she discovered YouTube, right?
Yeah,
and so she loved Justin Bieber, and she would listen to Justin Bieber songs because she loved music and stuff like that. So she would listen to Justin Bieber. And she said that basically she learned a lot of English from Justin Bieber, like listening to his interviews, and like that was a way that she expanded her vocabulary by listening to him talk and listening to his music. And also she was saying that was her glimpse of like the outside world. Like, wow, like not everybody lives like me. Like, this is really how it is, like, to be on the outside. And it is like, I don't know, like, this story was so sad to me because it's like, those are your children. Like, why? And that's what the daughters were saying. They were like, I just want to know why. Like, we're your children. Like, there's no, like, there really isn't any explanation to that behavior. And so long story short, their parents are in prison. They were both sentenced to life in jail.
Of course.
And yeah, I don't know. This case is just really sad. I had no idea that this case even happened in 2018. Like, I'm just learning about it now. My mom was like, "Oh my God, like, you never heard about this? It was a whole big thing." And I'm like, "No, like, I truly had no idea." And it's, I don't know, it's really crazy.
Shit. You said it was on Hulu?
It's on Hulu, yeah.
So if you got Hulu, I don't.
check that out. They have clips of it on YouTube. If you look up, let me tell you right now. If you look up on ABC, I think it's
But
ABC.
what is it called? Like
No,
on
because
But on Hulu, like what is it called?
on Hulu, go to 2020. 2020 is the program, ABC's 2020, and then they have, it's like the latest episode that's there. Oh, so on YouTube, the thing is called Escape from a House of Horror. If you go to the YouTube channel of ABC News.
So what? So what happened with all the kids? Like after?
So that's also a crazy thing. So, um, basically, when this was happening, when this case happened, a lot of people opened up like oh my god, I forgot the name
GoFundMe,
of it. Not a GoFundMe. It's like
charity.
something bigger, kind of like a charity thing, I guess you can say, where people were sending money to that to help support them, right? Because now their parents are in jail,
Yeah.
and then the older siblings, they don't have any like experience, skills, anything like that to get a job right away and make money enough for all of them to live, right? So people were sending money to support them and all this stuff. It's like a trust fund kind of thing.
Okay.
So basically there was an organization, was it, I don't know if it was an organization or like a set of lawyers or something like that that were assigned to, I forget the exact name. If you watch the Hulu thing, you will know the exact name, but there are these people that were put in place, that are put in place for situations like this, where basically they help find them housing, they help find them like they basically help set up their life kind of
Okay.
thing. They help find them food, groceries, and through this money. So let's say I'm in the housing that they provide for me. I need to go grocery shopping or I need to buy clothes. I would call the people that have, access to my money, and I'll be like, "Oh, I need money for me to buy clothes." The person that was in charge of them, that was assigned to them, she would reject like simple, what's the word? Simple
Request.
requests. So like, I think one of the older siblings, I think one of their brothers, he asked her for like if they can get a bike so that he can bike to school, because he was starting school, so he could bike to school and back so he could have a form of transportation. She denied it. Then he asked her like, "Oh, like how do I take the bus so I can go to school? Like, I don't know how to take the bus. I don't know anything about public transportation. Can you teach me?" Is she supposed to do that? She's supposed to, assist him with that. Why don't you just Google it? Like, the people that were appointed to them did them so wrong, and they still are. And then also, they had younger siblings, right? Siblings that were younger than 18. So they had to be put in the foster care system.
Damn, that
And
sucks.
so in the foster care system, they were being bounced from home to homes. And in those homes, some of them, unfortunately, were experiencing abuse in those homes as well.
That's crazy. And there's
So
nothing the older sisters could do. Like they can't
no, because you have to be like stable for you to get like
custody.
custody and things like that. Like you have to show that you're financially, like you have to show that you're financially able to provide for,
So do the
all
older
these kids and stuff
kids
like that.
keep in touch with the younger ones?
Yeah, they always they say that they see them and they visit them when they can and stuff like that. Right now, the girl that escaped, her name is Jordan. The Jordan, she's going to school, and she was able, through her school, be provided with housing, and like I think she's on food stamps and stuff like that, which is great. Like, that's good. and
Yeah.
and there are a lot of schools that offer that. And so the sister, I think, as well, she's working, like she has a
The older
job.
one?
Yeah. She's working in a restaurant. And I think she's working to be a manager of a restaurant.
Wow.
So, which is really good as well. So, they're doing stuff. The brother, one of the older brothers, he's going to school for engineering as well. So, they're trying, but at the same time, it's hard because, and then the place that they were put for housing, like the neighborhoods that they would provide them housing in, they would put them in really bad neighborhoods. And, when you're sheltered in, you don't know anything about being outside. You don't know how to be cautious, what kind of people to be looking out for. They would place them in these bad neighborhoods. And I think one of their brothers, he got jumped and stuff like that. Like they even still outside of the care of their parents, they were still going through abuse and going through all these things.
That sucks, man.
So there are people that now, I guess this is why now they're starting to share their story and wanting to be public, because they know that they have this money and they know that, people want to help them and they are deserving of help, but they're not getting it because of the people that were appointed to them. So, now there are new things that are being put in place. Like there are new other outlets of people to send them money and stuff like that where it'll actually benefit them and stuff. So
did they ever say how much money they raised?
like thousands of dollars, hundreds,
Thousands?
yeah, hundreds of
I
thousands.
want to say thousands.
I think it was like $200,000 or something like that, or more. But and people had donated clothes to them. People had donated like toys to them and stuff like that, and they didn't receive any of that. Like nothing. And so when the interviewers of 2020, they went to speak to those people that are in charge of their money and stuff like that, they didn't want to say anything. They didn't say anything to them. And then that specific girl that was supposed to like help them with giving them access to money and stuff like that, and like helping them with like the bus situation and stuff, she didn't pick up the phone, nothing, and she got fired from that position.
You think they stole money or not? They
I
got in
think
trouble.
people are stealing money. I think people are pocketing that money and saying, yes, we're doing a good thing. And you see pictures and videos of those people holding the check of money and all this stuff. But where is it? What did you do with it?
Man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, so it's a really sad thing. I'm going to see if I could find the link of like the actual, like, oh my God, keep forgetting the word, like the organization or whatever it is
Yeah.
that they are raising money that actually helps them. And I'm gonna see if we can put it in the bio, like if anybody wants to help or whatever, because they still have like 11 other siblings that need help, and they're in the system, they're in the foster care system.
I think that's what sucks the most, the fact that their siblings are in the system like that.
And yeah, so that just really like breaks my heart. And I hate that people have to go through things like that because of their parents. Like, damn.
Those old parents, bro. If you're gonna have kids, bro, if you know you don't want to take care of it, yo, dogs, put it up for adoption, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, give it up for adoption.
Don't do stuff like that. Don't abort it. None of that, yo. Like, I don't want to get too much into that because that's a very touchy topic.
But honestly, if you find yourself in a situation where you're not ready to have a child, just give it up for adoption, to be honest, because honestly, if you feel like you're not capable, there's somebody that is capable.
And it's not even that. There are people, and there's people that we know too, like personally, people that we know that they wish that they can have children, but they medically can't.
Like they physically can't.
Literally can't have kids. And like, you doing that, it kind of, how when you leave a little bit of food on a plate and your parents be like, this kid's in Africa starving for that.
Yeah, like there are kids starving for that food.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, there's people that really would love to have their own biological child, but they can't.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, just think twice and like I said, I know it's tough because it to me is one of those things where it's like I feel like it's a situational thing. Like I'm so pro life, right? It's pro life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against abortion. I'm so pro life. Like no, don't kill kids. But like, what if like I were to be in that situation? Will I
Mm-hmm.
still have that pro life mentality? And so like I'm saying this is like because I know it probably is different to actually be in a situation where you are having a kid.
Oh
Like
yeah, definitely.
so it's like one of those things where I'm always against, abortion, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's hard to say, but it's like one of those things where I would never agree with, but like I understand. Like I understand why, but I would not agree with it. No matter how much I
Right.
understand, it doesn't mean it's okay.
And if that's your decision, like if that's a decision that you're firm in and you're gonna take it whatever and you feel like that's the best decision for you under your situation, then you know what? That's your at the end of the day, that's everybody's decision to
Hmm.
make. It's not my body, that's your body. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a say in what everybody else does with their body,
Yeah.
but for me personally, if I was in any type of situation, I just firmly believe that every child, whether they were planned or not, they have a purpose. And, I just, I don't know. If you don't feel like they're going to be a blessing to you, you can bless somebody else with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like in situations like this, like, I mean, what's the point if you're going to have them in your house 24/7 chained up?
Yeah, that's the
Like,
thing, and
if you hate them so much, send them to school.
that's the
Like, they're
that's
in school
what
all
that's what's
day.
what's so confusing about this case is like again, I would understand. Like again, don't think I'm not trying to say like I don't know because this is gonna sound bad, but like I would understand like if the kids were being forced to do things like chores, like clean, or like actually like slaves, like treat them like slaves. I would understand
No,
the
they were
parents.
being treated like slaves.
Yeah, but they were just doing nothing. I'm talking about like having them do labor, like
They were.
oh
So
for
they
real.
would, yeah, so they would have, I don't know about like labor, but they had to do things around the house and so like the older kids, remember how I told you like their fridge was like packed with food?
Hmm.
They would have to cook the food for their parents
Oh no no
and
no.
they weren't able to eat the food.
That's what they. That's what. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the point?
And then they would like it like punishment would be like they had like the dog cages, like the kennels, and they
Yeah.
would put the kids in there and chain
Nah.
them in there.
That kind of reminds me of that. What's that movie that we saw
Which one?
about that girl that her parent like
Oh, her dad. It
yeah her
wasn't her parents,
dad.
it was her dad.
Oh right. Yeah, so there was what's the movie
Oh
called?
my god, I
But
forgot.
it's a movie.
Oh, something in the girl in the basement, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's based on a true story. It's about a girl who she was living a normal life. She literally was living a normal
She
life.
was
It
a
wasn't
teenager. She
yeah,
was in high school.
and she was like getting on her pop's last nerve and
For no reason. She just wanted to like hang out with friends. Typical
a
teenager
typical
stuff. Like
teenager thing.
you want to hang out
And
with your friends. Your friends are going to little
yeah,
parties. And she wasn't a bad kid. Like she would always get good grades. She was a good girl, basically.
yeah, and yeah. So in the movie, like it was showing how the pops was just getting fed up with her BS.
BS.
And so he, I think he told her to help her with something in the basement.
Yeah, so he was like renovating the basement to his
Yeah,
like family's knowledge. And so there was a certain part of the basement that he built like this
a secret
whole
like tunnel.
room.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like a secret tunnel to a
to a
secret room.
room. And so he was like asking her to hold in place the door that he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
screwing
yeah.
on, actually. So he was like, just hold it on. He made her hold it on the opposite end. Hold it while I screw it in place. So she was holding it. He screwed it in place and he shut it and locked it and
And
left
she
her in there.
literally stood there like how many years?
I think it was like 10,
But what was crazy, the
10,
thing
20
is,
years.
and this is what pissed me off, right?
I think it was like 20 years she was in
Actually,
there.
should we even say it? Because what if they want to watch it? Because I don't want to. I don't want
I
to
mean,
like.
it's a case. I mean, it's a case.
Okay,
Like
so
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
you're gonna
So
know.
yeah, yeah. But you should watch the movie, even if we're
Yeah,
gonna spoil it.
because there's a lot of details in between that are
Facts.
crazy.
But what's so crazy about that case is like, okay, you put your daughter in a basement, whatever, but he will go as far as to go down there and rape her.
Yeah. Like
Like,
he the first thing he gave her was a piece of lingerie for her
yo,
to change into.
and he would rape her, seated her. Shorty had his kids.
Yeah.
I think she had like what, three of them?
Like four.
Four. She had four of his kids, bro, living in that basement. And I forgot exactly how. Oh, one of her daughters were like super duper sick, and she like convinced him to go to the
To
hospital.
take her to the hospital.
And when they got there, she literally ran to a nurse or a police officer
No,
in the hospital.
a nurse noticed that she was like uncomfortable and she had was talking to her about her daughter, and then when they were walking away like to leave, the dad grabbed her like to leave, and the nurse told the police officer to like get her.
For real?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because the last thing I remember was
No, she
he.
didn't run. She was too scared.
Nah, we.
Yeah. Let me
I'm telling you,
see.
the what I remember was they sat. He had to sign something, so they sat down, and he asked her if she could use the bathroom. And once she used the bathroom, she started running away.
Girl in the basement.
She was running away, and then the dad peeped that she was running, so he started chasing her. And then you see her run towards a cop, and you just see him in the back, like just staring at her, like, yeah, it's clip.
But this didn't happen in America, the true story. This happened in some other country. I
Yeah,
forget. I think it was
yeah,
like in Russia or something like that. That's the actual dad.
yeah, I know.
Um,
Yeah, it's called Girl in the Basement. I forgot where we saw it.
it's a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, so check that out. So
Oh,
very,
look, this is this.
I'm
This
telling
is
you, look,
the
watch. So yeah, we just saw the ending, and it's kind of like
a mix
it's a
of what
mix
we
of what
both
we
said.
said. She basically asked to use the bathroom. She dipped, and then she went to a nurse who peeped, because I think before that scene, the nurse peeped that something was
Yeah,
up.
she was the nurse that was taking care of her, the
Yeah,
daughter.
so that nurse peeped something was up, and because I think also before that, the daughter, remember, she was like dirty.
She was not
She
malnourished.
was, and so the doctor kept asking them like questions like, why is she like
And
this
they
and stuff.
all looked dirty and
Yeah,
were
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
like raggedy clothes and stuff.
And so she ran away. She ran to a nurse, and there was a cop there, and she
And
was
she
dead.
hugged the nurse and she said, "I need help." And the cop was standing next to her. And the while she was hugging the nurse, the cop went and
Ran and
got the
got
dad
the
because the
father.
dad was following after her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this whole time, like, because it was just the dad. The mom had no
She
idea.
had no idea that her daughter was in the basement, and
No,
she's over here
nobody.
grieving her
Mm-hmm.
daughter, her sister as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally only the dad knew.
And the way that worked out was he made it seem as if she ran away.
Like she ran away.
Like their
Yeah.
parenting pissed her off, so she ran away.
Yeah, and he wrote like a letter. He wrote like a letter to make it seem like she went to this other country, like
Yeah.
she fled to this other
Yeah,
country.
so that's how she was able to. And it's crazy because you would think that after, like, the mom making this a whole, like, thing where the cops get involved and they start searching, they don't think to search their own basement. Like,
Yo, that's what I'm
that's crazy.
saying. They
That's
didn't.
too.
No,
And
but the thing is, they did search the
it's
basement.
just that room was
It's
so
just that
secret.
room was so hidden, and that the
Watch.
mom didn't even know that that room was
Watch
there.
the movie, because there's also some points where she almost escapes, and yo, it's
It's,
crazy.
and the mom low key suspects too because he's so like
Yeah, he's
nonchalant
so
about
like
it.
cool about it. Like,
Like
don't worry about it,
whatever.
sweetheart. She just ran away.
Yeah,
She
like
doesn't
you know
care.
she was rebellious anyway,
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
thing.
acting mad
Like
weird.
yeah. So the mom
But
was like, like what's wrong with this nigga? Like
yeah, so all into that is like, it's just crazy how these are like real
that's the
life.
parent. That's the mom of the Turpin.
She crying. I'll
Yeah,
punch her
she
her
was in
jaw.
court because there was a moment that the two oldest kids read like their statements to them and stuff.
I'll punch her in her jaw. Sure.
But were you saying all of this to
But
say?
all this to say, bro, it's like it's crazy that things like this happen in real life, and to really think about it and to go deep into it, there's probably kids right now, like
Oh
on their like
yeah,
10th
definitely.
year in captivity, and we don't even know
Definitely.
it. And it's crazy. And then I would be going as far as like these kids was found in 2018. I was living my life happy free while
Mhm.
these kids were going through it, and it's
Mhm.
so crazy, and it's so
Mhm.
sad.
It is so
I
sad, and also like in their situation, like I was saying, like everybody failed them because the oldest daughter, the excuse me, the oldest daughter, the girl that was there, she went to school until she was like in third grade or something like that, and her parents pulled her out, and nobody even ever suspected
that's what I'm
anything.
saying.
And also like what they did was that they had enrolled all of their children in homeschooling, but they never homeschooled any of them. And the thing is, for homeschooling, you
It's a
need proof
program.
and
Yeah,
stuff
there's a
like that.
program that you
Like
have to.
because when you're homeschooling, you're actually attending a school,
Yeah, I know.
but just from home, and they send you the material and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
they have like they're supposed to have home meetings, and they're supposed to like come like check report cards, progress reports and stuff like that, but none of this happened in their situation.
That's just so crazy. Like, how the hell did they get away with stuff like that?
Yeah, like
But,
nothing. I don't know. It's so baffling. It baffled my mind. So crazy.
mm.
All right. This is the Spanish word of the day.
Okay, three, two, one. Propina.
Okay.
Pro. 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 Yo, turn off your alerts, dogs.
Just read it.
Propina.
Hmm.
Propina. Propina.
Why are you making that
What?
sound on the N? Is there an accent on there?
Oh, propina. Propina.
Okay. What do you think it means?
Propane. Or prop.
Okay.
Um, I was gonna say problem, but isn't that problem? Problema.
Problema, problema.
Problema. Problema. Propina. 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 Por
It's not por.
es pro.
Mhm.
Propina. Propina.
What do you think it means? All
Propina.
right. What do you think it
Propina.
means?
I feel like it means purpose.
Okay. That's
Okay.
your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Propina
Means
means
tip. Oh my god. Like a tip, like
like money. Like you
oh
leave a tip.
money. Oh, I thought I meant tip like a gesture, like a to help you. Is that the same thing?
Oh, like a tip, like an advice.
Yeah.
Like no, no, no. Tip in the sense of like you leave a tip for the waiter, like that kind of tip.
So how do you say tip like advice?
Consejo.
Got him.
Damn.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this pre-recorded podcast, but this is how they're always gonna be. So I hope you
Not always,
not always
but
forever, but
for a
for
good
a good
amount of
while,
time.
for a good while. But we hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for coming to tuning into this video and watching it.
Hmm.
We love you guys. We appreciate you guys every single day. And don't forget, check the links in our bio to look at our other socials on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, even though we don't use Twitch. And also, there's a donation button. You guys can donate to help us to get a better setup, a better jig, so we can make this more
Better what?
professional. Jig,
Jig? What's that?
like, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard that before. I don't know what it means, but I've heard that before. I could have used it wrong.
Unlimited.
No, I don't think so. So
Jig?
a better to get a better setup and to support us to so
Yeah.
we can get something Get something to work.
Get something to work.
Cause like what
Because
whoever's room we do it in, either mine where we gotta lift up our bed or hers where we got the webcam. We got the webcam on a tripod on her
on my
bed.
bed.
Like
No, but the thing is, it's fine. We just can't stream here. In his
yeah.
house, we could
But
stream,
it's hot. It looks
but it
terrible.
looks so
So
dark and like
please donate however much, man, is appreciated. $1,
a
two, three,
dollar.
50, 100, 1,000, a million, whatever you guys got. Just bless it
Mhm.
up for the podcast so we can get better equipment so it could look, sound, and be better.
Yeah.
But like I said, we appreciate you guys. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode, and we see you guys next
Next
week.
week.
Love you guys.
Bye,
Stay
guys. We
safe.
love you.